friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to discuss about the common software QA problems that we all must have faced and the possible solutions for that. And before I get into the topic, I would like to thank two people who helped me to reach lead developer in test position in UK within few years. So the first person is my husband. He's the one who taught me like agile test practices and automation test frameworks, etc. So when I came to UK, I have zero knowledge about automation and how that works and what is agile and how testing fits into that. So he's the one who taught me everything from the scratch, and within 1 month of my job trials, I was able to get into the job in UK. So thanks to him for that. And second person is Shahid Fazaldin. I worked with him at British Sky Broadcasting, and when I was working with him, he made me involved in several areas of testing, like functional testing, performance testing, and like automated deployments, and how we have to design our tests, and how well we can automate our tests before we get into production when we are doing automated deployments especially. So he gave me he made me involved in all these things, so I gained a lot of experience there. And also he is the first person who believed me that I can lead the teams where he is responsible for the delivery. So thanks to him as well. So let's get into the common problems that we all must have faced. So one problem I have faced is, I will explain you with the incident that happened. So let's say I have a final build which is ready to go to production, and also that build is about to go to production tomorrow. Let's say. So today what happened, one of the lady, she's a developer, so she commented out the code as well as the unit test responsible for that code and pushed it to master, and also test started failing directly on master. So I was thinking, like, yesterday they were passing, and today what happened? And we found out that the reason the tests were failing is because she pushed some code which should not be pushed to master. So I don't want to comment like whether she did it deliberately or by mistake, because some people has perception that only QAs are responsible for quality, and if a bug gets into production, only QA gets blamed. So that is completely wrong perception. And so each and every person who is in the team is responsible for quality. It's not only QA. So that should whole team should remember that. So to avoid the problems like the unnecessary code getting into production, what we can do is, on GitHub and SVN we have several commit hooks. So you can configure commit hooks in such a way that only pull requests and merges from the pull request can get into master. So you can configure your GitHub like that, and each and every small change that can be done should be should be done via a pull request, and that pull request should be approved by 2 or 3 people, and it should have a link to Jenkins builds. So so that you can set up you can configure your pull request as well in such a way that only when 2 or 3 people approve that pull request, and if it has a green build on Jenkins, then only it can be merged to master. So you can set up these kind of hooks as well. And also, none of the people from your team should be able to push to master directly. Whatever the change they need to do, they need to raise a pull request and get the approvals, and Jenkins build should be green, and all the tests should pass on Jenkins, then only the pull request can be merged. So if you set up these kind of hooks and these kind of rules for the pull requests, there will be no chance that the unnecessary code gets into production or the master, so which should always be green. So you can protect your code base like this. And also the second problem is, like, QAs and developers are I mean, sometimes I felt that people who are working in QA team and developer team, they're always like enemies. So it shouldn't be like that, because um, for successful delivery, QA and dev both are important, and developer is the one who develops the code and QA is the one who tests the code, and both of them should be responsible for delivery and the quality. So the perception in some of the teams is that so if the QA rises, so I mean QS should always be recognized for their quality of work, not for the number of bugs they have raised. So though they have raised like hundreds and 200s of bugs when while the application is still under development, if you get even a like P1 or P2 bug in production, there is no use of those 100 and 200 bugs. I'm not saying like QS should not raise that many bugs, but mainly they should be rewarded for their quality, not for the number of bugs they raise. And also developers should understand what QA is saying and try to fix the problem. Like when people start appreciating QA for finding more bugs, and oh, she found like hundreds and 120 bugs, she is great. So developer doesn't have those unit tests properly, that is the reason she found so many bugs. If you start rewarding people like this, and developer will really get annoyed, and also he starts saying like this is not a bug, this is a feature. Why didn't it fail in functional test, why did it fail in integrate, all these like nonsense arguments will come up. So reward your QAs and developers correctly, not by, I mean, don't reward them by the number of bugs they raise. They should always be rewarded only for the quality of their work, and how stable your product is in production. That is the main thing. And also the third problem is QA work is never considered into the sprint work. So let's say we are developing something, and soon after the developer does the development work, it is treated as it's complete. It's not like that. So first of all, whenever you are estimating a story, you need to consider like QA effort as well as the dev effort. Nowadays they are considering like QA effort and dev effort, but the thing they are not considering is automation. So automation should be part of definition of done. Without automation, if you get into production, let's say you changed the code in that area, if there are no automation tests which could catch that bug, it will go into production, and only in production you'll get to know that this functionality is broken. So to avoid those things, you have to have automation as part of your definition of done. Obviously you cannot automate each and every 100% of the scenarios. You still need to do some manual testing and exploratory testing, but most of the things you need to try to automate as part of the story. So nowadays what I'm seeing, the developer ticket is already estimated as 8. So QA effort on top of it goes up to 13, like the whole effort is considered as 13. So then like people are negotiating like yeah, let's do only development work as part of this, and let's push the QA effort into the backlog, like automation effort into the backlog. So never ever agree to that kind of strategy. If it is 8 or 13, it doesn't matter. Just complete your automation as part of the ticket itself, dev ticket itself, and estimate your stories properly. And another common problem that we all face is people start finding more and more bugs in integration phase rather than the earlier phases. So the moment you start finding more and more bugs in the integration phase, your deliveries gets delayed, and you won't meet the deadlines anymore because you have more bugs there. So for that you need to follow shift left approach and the test experiment as well. So you have to have more coverage in the unit test level itself, because those tests are faster and you could get the feedback immediately. And also whatever the tests you cannot cover on the unit test level, you need to cover them on the functional test phase. So functional tests are also like only our service will be the real one, and we use all other dependent services to be mocks, so even functional tests will be quicker. So to get faster feedback, you need to have more coverage on the unit test and functional test level rather than the end-to-end level, because end-to-end is very slow. There you are integrating with multiple services and you will have more blockers as well. If let's say if other service is not responding properly, then your testing will also be blocked there. So to avoid all those things, you need to have good test coverage with respect to unit and functional tests. And another thing is contract testing. So you always need to have contract testing in place, because you must have given your team must have given a API spec to follow to the clients. So you always need to test that application is adhering to the spec that's been given to the clients. So contract testing is very very important, so make sure you do contract testing as well in the testing strategies. And another thing is the tools that you choose for your automation test framework. So there are lots of fancy tools available in the market, and everybody tempts towards using those tools. So you have to analyze the tool first, how suitable it is to your application and your team. And also some of the tools, they will not have proper support in the market. Let's say you start using that tool and you face some issues, there won't be any person who will be able to help you to resolve that problem, and you'll get stuck at that point. So you should not try to use new tools because something brand new came in the market. So you have to analyze the support they provide and the suitability of the tool for your application. You have to analyze all those things. So unless you analyze, don't just start using those tools for your automation. So another thing is all the QAs have to make sure is, whenever you are trying to do automated deployments to production, make sure all your tests are enabled on the pipeline, and never ever agree to the strategy where they will enable automated deployments without enabling the automated tests. So you always need to have automated tests enabled on the pipeline, then only you can have automated deployments to production. And another thing is, you have to have a deployment strategy where initially you start deploying to Canary. There the build stays for 24 hours, where like only the 3% of traffic will go through that Canary pod, and it will stay there for 24 hours. So if there are any issues with your build, you will get P1, P2, P3 alerts, whatever you have configured to, so that you can fix the problem. So you can fix the problem immediately and release another build. And also when you are using the automated deployments, it's always roll forward strategy. They're not going to roll back anything, so please make sure you have all your tests enabled so that you don't your product doesn't get into the buggy state. Okay, so this is what I have for today. Maybe with next video we can discuss more and more topics about testing, or I'm planning to do another video on Selenium and Java. So let's meet with that in the next video.